So today we started back at Tybee Island on the beach with our baby, not walking, driving, not driving on the beach, but to drive our to drive our route. We went out and walked down to the beach, and then went back to our car and started driving. And it was like the weirdest, craziest, emotional thing ever to be like reliving all of these experiences that we've had while like taking care of our baby in a car now, only for the next month, that's really good. This is not a long-term thing. This is short-term. Then we're gonna live in Oregon. But being like having all of this like that going on with him and taking care of him while trying to figure out the maps and trying to like remember these roads that we went on like 2 years ago, and trying to tell stories, and our video camera, like still figuring out our video camera because it's new, and that's why we're doing this voiceover right now. And anyway, it's just so many different things.
So there's all the kinks that we're gonna work out.
So many kinks. Yeah, there we go. I just vented. Sorry, guys. Anyway, and then we're doing all of this and having like these moments where all of a sudden I'll like point out something to Colton. Like, no joke. I pointed out to Colton this big, huge tree today, and it's like, Colton, I had to pee so bad, and there was nothing around, nothing at all, just a couple of like farmhouses and stuff, and I was too scared to like ask people to like pee, this basic human need. And so I ended up finding this giant tree that was just surrounded by fields, and I went behind it, squatted to pee, trying to be super discreet, using my cape, feeling so embarrassed, so ashamed. And all of a sudden I just look up at Colton and I'm just like, oh shit, forgive my French. And oh my gosh,
with the same. Oh.
So I sort of had a surprise poop patty, and yeah, so nervous bowels and stuff, and like, I don't know, squatty potty is real. So if you've not learned about it, check it out. But anyway, like we're discussing those, and so we're having these like ridiculous moments all intertwined. So there was like, obviously you can hear in my voice, there was a lot of energy today, like just whoosh da. Like, there's not words. Colton makes fun of me for using that one, but that's I got it from Veggie Tales.
I wondered. Okay, so when we were trying to figure out how to get out to Georgia, we were like, okay, how are we doing this when we're still, I don't know, we were trying to figure out finances a lot, and like how we getting across.
Oh yeah. When we left Utah, we had $145.
Yeah, so
here's the truth. We did not have money. We did not have savings accounts, credit cards, anything. We had $45.
I got laid off like
145, sorry.
I got laid off the month before we decided to go.
Oh yeah.
And so, I mean, I hadn't even gotten a new job yet because it was through the holidays, and we had enough to get through that. But then once that ended, we decided, oh my gosh, like this is what we want to do this, and we have no background. I'm an Eagle Scout. I've gone like hiking, camping, done things, but nothing even remotely close to this. So when we decide this, we're trying to figure out, are we like gonna take a bus? Are we gonna like somehow get our car there and leave it? Where would we leave it? And as we're doing all, like, it gets down to the last 10 days before our date that we had decided that we were gonna start. And Amanda, you find this lady on Craigslist.
I was scavenging. I was looking everywhere. I was looking under rocks, trying to be like, how are we going to get out to Georgia? I was texting people being like, how do you travel on a budget? Like, you know, knowing that we had like what felt like next to nothing. $145 is a lot.
We thought to ourselves, okay, like, we are getting into new careers that we still love and pursue and are like doing things with, but we were so brand new, we just thought, yeah, we could just like do it remotely and
Ha, we
Like
didn't think about how bad
put
cell
the walk.
service could be.
Yeah, the bad cell service, like the stresses of the walk,
Oh, the
like
fact that we'd be walking
where were you
all
gonna be
day
during an appointment?
long.
So many things that we hadn't even considered.
Where were we going to do these appointments? On the side of the road. That's
mean,
really relaxing for a healer.
we were we were graced though, because I remember one appointment I had, and let's see, where were we? Nebraska, and we just landed by this park, and it was so peaceful, and it was
Right.
such nice weather.
Made a friend after too.
Made a friend, like it was great. So we were graced with the times that we did, because it usually like lined up.
But
anyway.
so I found this lady on Craigslist who was doing a ride share, which is when you share your rides to go places and stuff. And she was going from Oregon to Iowa. And my brain was like, well, Iowa's closer than Utah to Georgia, so let's do it. And no joke, we met this lady in Utah. She came through Utah, picked us up. She needed drivers, so we didn't have to pay for gas or anything, which was a miracle. And so we drove most of the way. We all kind of shared the driving responsibilities, but we did as much as she asked of us. And we got all the way out to Des Moines, and she drops us off at a truck stop, and she was the sweetest lady. She was like so concerned about it.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh,
by the way.
What did I say?
Oh wait.
I don't know, but he's right, Des Moines, Iowa. Anyway, so we're out there, and we're like, yeah, it's cool. Like, these totally naive. Like, we didn't know what we were talking about. We had no idea where we were or where we were going. We totally relied on Google Maps 100%. And we were just like, let's just do it. Yeah. And we were just going. It was insane. And we figured out we couldn't hike or hitchhike on the interstate, which was where she dropped us off. So we had to hike to the highway, which is kind of funny, because she probably would have dropped us off on the highway. But we didn't realize that till after we left her. Anyway, so we hiked to the highway. We got picked up by a lady and got driven a few miles to the highway when we got closer, which was really cool. That was like super cool. Very nice lady. And then we were walking, and I was dying. I was like, this is the stupidest idea ever. I should not have decided to do this. I'm already feeling like totally like, oh, so bad. My back hurt, my body hurt, my feet hurt. And we were only like 8 miles in. And I was sitting there going, I am screwed. Like, whose idea was this?
We also had a bunch of extra stuff too. We had
That's
so
true.
much that we brought out.
I brought out like a
you brought
wetsuit for my
your
cousin.
Oh man, that was a pain on the bus.
Yeah. So we had too much stuff, which is good. We learned that from that like practice run there. Guys, I brought perfume. Like, I feel much more like capable now, but I was not a outdoors chick. I brought perfume, and not only just one, but like 4. They were little bottles, but who brings perfume on a walk across America? It's like, I'm out here walking on the side of the road with a backpack getting all sweaty, but I want to smell real good. Ooh.
It's like Febreze after you go to the bathroom. Okay, that's helping. Not very much.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, you gotta get that poopery. So, anyway, we're out there, and we lied down. We lied down on the side of the highway, pretty far off, but like it's probably still dangerous, but whatever.
Had a headache. We whipped out the oils.
We did, and we tried to chill a little bit, and I snuggled up to him because we were still in that cute, super romantic phase. And this van drives past and then flips around and then drives past again and then stops just a little bit ahead of us. And we get up, and we found out later they were shocked that there was 2 of us. They thought it was one, and they thought it was a dead body.
They just saw my
or
leg.
A body,
or
sorry. They thought it was they said body. That usually implies something's wrong
kind of
or passed
that,
out.
Yeah, but luckily they saw my leg because I had it like up on my other knee, resting up, and so they were able to see us and pulled over and just offered a ride.
But it was
a couple
this,
hours their direction or whatever.
Yeah, adorable family. She was an
yes.
off-duty officer, and Oh my gosh.
They were so awesome. Oh man.
They
So
went
we
they went and okay, so we really didn't have like we had a bunch of snacks and stuff with us, but like they went and took us to the grocery store, loaded us up on snacks, made sure we had water.
I was really so confused in the store. Like, I kept thinking that she was grocery shopping, and I was like, they can't just be taking us here and like asking us to pick stuff, right? And I was like,
It was
that's not.
really, really
I was.
different.
It was really hard for me. She's like, no, like, I want you to pick, like, get stuff,
And
and
we'd
I'm
grab
like,
like something
oh
and
my
she'd grab
gosh.
like, no, no, that's pathetic. And she'd put that box back
I
and get
was
the
like
bigger one.
so humbled. It was.
It was
It,
incredible.
it was.
It
It
was
was
like,
like they taught me so much right from the get go. We hadn't even started our
and
walk, and I was
and it
just
was
like
like this weird blend of like
mind blown.
shame and like gratitude and like unworthy and
I mean, and then I don't know about you, but I had one of our mentors, one of my favorites, Kirk Duncan. I got his voice in my head, like the declaration statement he teaches that I'm a gracious receiver and like
oh yes.
a generous giver. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like breathing, you breathe in, you breathe out, you give, you receive. And so here I am really struggling to receive when someone's really trying to give. And man, yeah, so that was a unique experience.
My goodness.
Absolutely.
Um anyway, so after all that we are, we're heading their direction. They end up, long story short, they end up making friends with us and we have pizza and go fishing and hang out with them that evening, and they're like, well, it's kind of too late for us to do anything or like get you guys sent off on a bus, so let's just, you all can come home with us if you feel safe, because we feel safe, we're safe enough to ask you to. And we went home and had this like crazy slumber party, and it was so cool, and it was so cool. It was such an amazing thing, and they worked it out with us, and we gave them the $145 that we had, or what was it, like $130 or something, that left us with 15 to get food and stuff along the way if we needed it. And um, they paid the difference for us to get bus tickets from Iowa to Georgia, close enough that we'd be able to work out getting to my aunt's house so that one of my cousins could get us to the coast. So that was just crazy. So like, and I just remember it being so emotional leaving them the first day, feeling so much like love and gratitude and like so honored by them as like who they were as people, that it was genuinely hard for me to get on the bus and like leave. And I'm hoping that we get to see them on this trip. Um, I would really like to.
Me, absolutely. And I thought, I remember thinking, oh crap, this is gonna be like a reoccurring thing where we meet somebody or a family, and I'm just like, I gotta say goodbye at some point. I'm like, oh crap, and I don't know, that was something that never, I
It
mean,
never got,
it
I don't
never
feel like
really
it
got
ever got
any
easier.
easier. Yeah, that was like the only thing that I can think of that I don't know, and I'm sure there's some people that can figure out how to have peace with stuff like that, and I think we find some of that, but that was like one of the like tough parts of the trip that
It's even
I
hard,
I
and we're
don't
in a
even
car right now.
I don't I don't even really I didn't really think, I wouldn't have really thought of that before. Like, oh yeah, just by the way, like you're gonna meet a lot of really awesome people, and you're gonna have to say goodbye if
Over
you're gonna
and
continue
over
your
and
mission.
over again.
Yeah, just be ready to like emotionally, like
Ugh.
manage that on top of everything else.
So
So I'm like, oh
that was even
man.
before like starting the walk. And then that first day was so emotional. It's like getting rained on and like jumping over rivers and freaking just rain, like a huge rainstorm, ripping our tent open, sleeping in a puddle the first night, having to spread everything across the freaking firefighter, like firehouse lawn to dry, and half of our food got eaten by ants. Like, what the heck?
uh,
And
well,
then continuing, but then even that, like that second day we walked into, what are the odds of the second day of us walking across America you can't count the number of Forrest Gump references we had. And we walked straight into Debbie's Cafe in Savannah, Georgia, which is what? Forrest Gump themed. Like, Forrest Gump is playing on a TV in the corner. Like, who? What? What are the odds of something like that happening? Especially when we took a wrong turn. Like, the only reason we even passed it was because we...
Well, a different turn than the GPS
Okay.
suggested.
All right. By wrong turn, I mean we did something different than we were expected to be doing based on our maps. And because we missed our turn, quote unquote, we ended up walking right up to this cafe. Like, who does that? And then at the end of the second day, we meet this crazy cool guy while we're at a gas station trying to figure out how we're going to find somewhere to stay. Because our tent's not really, like, awesome, but we're like, whatever, we've got it. Like, where can we camp? Can't see anything on the maps. We walk out going, we're going to find something. Determined. This little, like, intrepid spirits we've got going on. We're going to find it in the middle of nowhere. Like, with nothing. Like, I don't know. Anyway. And this guy pulls up and he goes, I've seen y'all twice today. I swear if I saw you guys again, I'd pull over and ask what y'all were doing. Who does that? What? And what are the odds that we would see him again at the end of the day when we're trying to find somewhere to rest? And he's like, man, I don't live far from here. Y'all can camp in my backyard. What? He doesn't know us at all. We're crazy people wearing costumes and backpacks. And he's inviting us into his car, to his house, letting us shower. Oh my gosh, he gave us the best advice on starter advice on hiking, because he's done some of the Appalachian stuff. I shouldn't say starter advice. I absorbed starter stuff from him, things that I didn't know that I felt like I could handle right away.
Yeah, because you didn't know hardly,
we didn't know anything about backpacking.
You didn't know much about it, and I was not I don't know. I just didn't even think about telling you. For some reason, growing up and learning what I did,
yeah,
I just didn't think about, I should probably teach her everything, including the basics. And so we get out there, and that was so awesome to run into him and just share so much knowledge, because a lot of it was super awesome refresher for me too.
Because I literally had never backpacked before. I emphasize, I had gone hiking with a camel pack. Little hikes, baby hikes.
Or gone camping with.
Or gone camping where you drive up. Oh yeah. The only time that I've gone camping where you carry your gear, Colton was there, and I was just a cute girl stoking the fire. We weren't even dating yet, and he hauled everything up with his cousin, and I just was a cute girl stoking the fire. I don't know.
Oh man, that's freaking hilarious. So that was a big step for you. That was such a huge step, going from that to
walking across America, to walking across Oregon with a baby.
So here's the story. Here's where we're at. We started walking, and there was a trail that was supposed to take us off this highway.
We were only a mile or two into the walk when we found the trail, right? Probably 2 or 3 at most.
Not too much, yeah. And it was supposed to be 4 miles off this little highway, and we're yeah, woo, so excited, right? So right up here at
and it started to sprinkle like this too.
It started to sprinkle. We sat down, we had some snacks, wrapped up ourselves in baggies.
We put grocery bags on our feet to keep them dry. And it didn't rain that much, so it was kind of unnecessary anyway.
And it was hot.
It got hot so fast. That's the tricky part about hiking, with backpacks in the south, is just because it's raining doesn't mean it's cool enough to have a poncho. You have it to keep you dry, but then it traps that heat.
You just get all wet.
And you're wet anyway. So here's the start. Here's the trailhead that we hopped on. It's off of the highway, so we thought, ooh, this will be nice. And we got about, let's see, it's 3 or 4, probably about
2.5.
We might even be able to see it, but yeah, it was about 3 miles.
Yeah.
And we got to a spot where the bridge was gone, crossing one of the canals.
Totally out. And there was ocean on one side and a stream on the other,
And then
and you had to go. And yeah, then there was the marsh around the stream, and then there was this trail, and that was the only thing that was drawing. So I thought, well, let's there was these big railroad, what are those called?
Like railroad ties, like
Yeah.
they were huge.
Big old logs, and I'm thinking, oh yeah,
We can make a
Colton can
bridge.
lift this. Oh no,
That thing's like
it's
a
so
freaking
freaking heavy.
several
So-
hundred pounds.
So he tried for like 2 seconds, and then was like, honey, this isn't happening. So then he goes, the only option we have is either go back, or I'm gonna jump across the stream, and we're gonna hike up to the road. So I was like, all right. So he jumps across. I climb on top of like a big old bush tree thing. He jumps across, and then he's like, come on, come on, come on. And I was freaking out. I was totally panicking. I've got like a 55-pound backpack, 60-pound backpack on right now. His is almost 70 pounds. And I jump barely, because, I'm tiny enough as it is, out of backpack, and I can't fly for sure. I jump, he grabs me, and I sink thigh high, like way up to the middle of my thigh.
Yeah, just before you jump, my leg sunk down just past my knee all the way into the marsh.
And I start panicking, so he grabs me and kind of heaves me over his shoulder upward onto the, a little bit higher into the marshes. And I get up there and I scramble and I run to the road. And he gets over to me and I just start sobbing into his chest. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I think I just smiled and like kind of chuckled it off and was like, oh, we're like 7 miles in at this point.
Day 1, guys.
We
Have
had
you
already.
found the bag of chips yet? Not yet.
It was right after that. So
Oh.
we had already gone through a windy morning, getting sand all over everything. I was
Nowhere for breakfast.
eating
just
snacks
ate
for
snacks.
that. We walked, got super, like, it really kind of got wet along the way.
Well, and it got wet along the way from the rain and the ponchos. And at the beach, I got my shoes wet.
And then we sunk into mud. Like, you almost went down to your hips in mud.
That's true.
So we run across the tall grass, and she's thinking, snakes, watch out for the snakes.
Oh yes, I was panicking about the snakes and the crocodiles and
So by the
gators
time
or whatever's down there.
she's crying in my shoulder, I'm like, we are 7 miles in. Like, we've got about just under 3,000 to go. Well, we thought it was 2,918, but
So we thought it was just over 2,900
we're
miles
like,
to go.
oh, only 2,911 miles to go. So,
Oh dear.
we made it though. We made it.
I mean, it worked out. We ended up getting, like, not very long afterwards, we found a little stream and we kind of cleaned ourselves up. And
Oh, there's the stream.
there it is. Oh,
We walked over there and
yeah.
sat down on some rocks and got ourselves cleaned
Got
up,
to see all
got
the
some of the
little
mud off.
turtles. Got some cute little turtles.
Little turtles.
And some, like right before the stream, Hilton found, and I kid you not, and he did pick them up and we did eat them. It was an unopened bag of Ruffles or Lay's.
It was an original bag of Lay's, and I just decided that
He loves potato chips.
it was a gift. It was a gift from the universe for making it this far, making
Yes.
it out there, and then making it across the marsh,
Oh my
getting you out.
gosh.
Oh man.
And that was just part of the first day. And then walking across. After our crazy adventure with the river, we kept walking, got to a point where we were sitting down on some grass, which we thought was okay, and apparently we were on private property or something like that. So we were asked to leave by an officer and ended up walking down the street to a fire station. And by down the street, I mean like a couple miles. And they let us sleep not in the fire station, but like camp on the grounds of the fire station, which was really crazy because we got our tent all set up. We, kept trying to find somewhere nearby to like grab dinner or have somebody bring us dinner, and like nothing, like no success.
There was
zero.
2 Jimmy Johns that didn't delivered to that area.
I don't know. It was weird. I guess they didn't overlap in that area, but anyway.
So we had granola bars
And peanut butter. So we were at the fire station, had our tent set up, had our peanut butter scooped with stuff, bars, granola bars, and it starts like pouring rain, like a crazy Georgia rainstorm, right? And we think at this point, day one, that our tent is waterproof. It is not. I don't believe that the gentleman who sold us the tent meant to give us a tent that was not waterproof, but it was not. We're in the middle of this rainstorm.
Non-waterproof
Our
tent.
non-waterproof tent. Colton was cool enough to go inside and talk to the officers, firefighters, who said,
"Can't sleep in here."
"Yep."
That's
Which
okay.
was probably policy, so we respect that. And we were kind of bummed about it, but that was okay. We got over it. And we're in this tent, and all of a sudden, this big, like, whoosh of wind whips open. And it's like pouring, and it's windy, and I probably was crying. I did a lot that day, and
Water's coming in from every angle on the tent.
and I'm wearing my poncho, maybe. I might have been in my poncho by that point. And Colton's holding his, like, the bottom of the, like, zipper for the tent with his toes, and then one with his hand, and then in his other hand, he had his phone that had declarations or, like, power statements on it, and he's sitting there being like, I am able and capable.
That one was
I'm
yours,
worthy
but
and
yours.
intelligent. Like, he's just like chanting these things, trying to be like, I can do this. Ah! In the middle of this baloney. So that was fun. No, fun.
Baloney tent.
Did I fix the tent that night or the next morning?
Kind of rigged it that night after the rain stopped for a little bit.
And then I slept in a puddle. I was pretty sad, guys. Like, this is my cross-country adventure. I don't like this. I'm not an outdoor. I wasn't an outdoors person. I slept in my poncho.
She
In a
did. She
puddle.
slept in her pot. I was just like, oh no. And we woke up and everything was basically, like, almost
Soaked.
everything was soaked. So we laid
and
it all
our
out.
food was
to get
overrun
dry.
by tiny ants and big ants, just ants.
We did throw
Healthy
away
ants.
about half of our food on the morning of day 2.
Oh yeah, that was fun. And scooped out the top of the peanut butter to preserve the rest of it.